Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Films and Stuff. I am Ethan, joined by Pete. What's up, Pete?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
Everything is great. Today is our next installment of the Stream or Skip feature. We know the rules, but do you want to recap them one more time for maybe some new listeners?
Absolutely. So, listeners, Ethan has prepared a list of TV shows and movies he'd like me to watch. I have done the same for him. Every week, we randomly assign each other one of those shows. We have to watch at least 2 episodes if it's a series or a half hour if it's a movie. And then on that basis, we determine if that series or movie is worthy of being streamed or skipped.
Man, you're getting good at that recap. And just to put this into context, Pete is riding a losing streak.
Oh, yeah.
If he were at a blackjack table in Vegas, it would be pretty ugly with an ashtray of stubbed out cigarettes, a few half-finished whiskeys, head in arms, shirt unbuttoned to the navel, sweating, hat on backwards,
all the
sunglasses,
quote-unquote casino floozies would have left me by now.
So we really got to help Pete out this week and hope he gets back on track with a winning hand. But Pete, did it happen?
I think you've already seen the scores. Unfortunately, I have busted yet once again, or if we were playing craps, snake eyes yet again.
Why did you hit on 20?
Yeah. Honestly, I just thought it was going to happen this time, but nope, unfortunately not.
Tell us what you had.
So this week I had a movie on Hulu called Quasi. It is, as you might guess, a parody of Quasimodo, the Hunchback of Notre Dame story.
Okay.
Now, most people will know the Hunchback of Notre Dame from the animated Disney adaptation from the 90s.
That's me.
And I think that's the version most people think of. But as usual, what Disney does is it takes what the real story is and makes it a lot less brutal than it actually is. The true story, or the true...
Sensitize.
Exactly. The true written story was a lot darker. This is a Broken Lizard production. Have you heard of Broken Lizard?
No, I have not.
So Broken Lizard is a comedy troupe. They had the cult smash hit. You can't be a cult #1 hit, but that's exactly what they were. It was Super Troopers. Do you remember that movie?
I remember Super Troopers. Oh, that was so funny.
That's the Broken Lizard troupe. Jay Chandrasekhar, Steve Lemmy, Kevin Heffernan, all those guys. They did Super Troopers, Super Troopers 2. They did Beer Fest. They did Club Dread. If you watch the TV series, which I really like, Tacoma FD on True
Oh, no,
TV.
I've heard of it, though.
Yeah, that's also a Broken Lizard production. These same actors who work together, and they make these comedies. Now, they were really popular in the early 2000s because that was also the height of the frat pack, right? You know, this is when you had Will Ferrell.
Emilio.
No, so that was the Brat Pack.
Oh, there's the Rat Pack, the Brat Pack.
And now we had the Frat Pack, right? Which was, so this was like Will Ferrell. This was like all the Ben Stiller. This was the type of guys who were doing these like raunchy comedies, like Old School. Do you remember Old School?
Yeah. Luke
they
Wilson.
were glorifying sex and alcohol and then like all the stupidity that occurs, that kind of behavior. Super Troopers came out around the same time, and that's when Broken Lizard really hit the big time, in my opinion.
Okay.
Flash forward to 2023. Super Troopers, as you know, they've been doing a lot of work. They released Quasi on Hulu, and this is a satire / parody of the Hunchback of Notre Dame story, again set in medieval France, starring the Broken Lizard troupe.
It's not animated. It's
not
live
animated.
action.
It's a live action movie.
Okay.
And you can tell that it's a made for TV movie. It's not like these guys are doing very high budget shows anyway, right? comedies in general don't typically generate huge amounts of money, so budgets are typically lower. So set design isn't like unbelievable. Costume design isn't phenomenal. Their limited budget is on cast. And in this case, you see that the same actors are playing multiple roles. This is very much like a Monty Python-esque production. Low budget, low production value, not bad production value, just low production value. So where they tried to save money, you can kind of tell. Yeah. Obviously, they did not shoot this in France. Obviously, they didn't set this in a real village somewhere in the middle of America. You could tell that this was made on a set somewhere, that kind of thing. Yeah. So again, not bad, just that obviously not a high budget production, but not a problem because again, the focus is on the comedy, not on anything else. If you like crass, frat boy, dick and fart joke style humor, this is going to be right up your alley because this is, the typical Broken Lizard genre type and formula. They do a lot of like innuendos. They do a lot of like physical humor, a lot of slapstick humor, that kind of thing. It's absolutely fine. I thought I was going to love it. I knew that this wasn't going to be a must subscribe from the get-go because those kinds of movies aren't, but they're perfect mooches, right? They're perfect wait for streamings because they're funny. They hit when you're looking for a quick hit of humor and nothing too serious. This is the perfect kind of show for it. Right. The problem is I'm no longer
you've outgrown it.
20-year-old.
You're too good for it. You're too good for it.
That's not the thing. It's just that we've kind of grown.
But I am. Yeah.
This is the kind of comedy that I imagine that if you get buzzed, if you partake in medicinal, recreational items of any kind,
activities.
Exactly. Yeah. If that's the kind of extracurricular lifestyle that you lead, I imagine this is going to be
the funniest movie ever.
Yeah. Exactly. Right? Because you're going to get to see some hilarious stuff that's only going to get expounded on that. That is not my lifestyle. No judgment. That's never been my lifestyle, which is also fine. It's the same reason I don't want to watch Super Troopers now because I have a very good memory of Super Troopers.
Yeah, I know. I have such good memories of that. I felt like it was so funny.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But that was also 20 years ago. Like, I don't want to, it's the same reason that, the comedies of the 60s, 70s, and 80s, you don't want to watch it now because you're worried that it won't hold up.
I know. It will really ruin it.
And it'll ruin it for you. So I would rather just leave it in the back of my mind as, hey, that was a really good show of its time. I'm out. I don't want to watch it now because I don't want to ruin it. Having said that, for me, the show is okay. It's sometimes funny. I think 20-year-old Pete would have laughed his head off. Yeah. But the Pete of today,
25-year-old Pete, not so funny.
Exactly. 22-year-old Pete, not so funny.
Now that you've got your bachelor's degree.
That's right. And I've got my internship. I'm ready to go. I don't think that this is for me. I think that this is really targeted for a much younger audience. So for me, I think this is a skip. I fully caveat that by saying that if you have a certain lifestyle, if you still have a certain style of humor, you're going to love it. And that's probably going to be a much better score for you, but it's not for us. I genuinely don't think that it's for you or me. I am pretty sure that if you and I saw this together, we'd turn it off and just be like, let's just watch another episode of The Night Agent or whatever the next TV series.
Is it unusual that this is on Hulu?
No, actually, I think it's actually great that it's on Hulu because it's clearly a low budget. I didn't do the research, but I'm pretty sure it's a very low budget. Yeah. The Broken Lizard Troupe isn't known for making high budget productions anyway. So I imagine that it's very low cost, high potential impact, which is exactly what streaming services want.
I mean, because Hulu's got a pretty good reputation and track record for being kind of the anti-Amazon, right? Rather
Yeah.
than taking these super expensive IPs and overproducing the hell out of them and then making mediocre content, they take kind of stuff that you've never heard of and they make super high engaging content, but they're not known for comedy, I would say, right?
Yeah, I would say that Hulu is like a discount Apple TV at this point, right?
Yeah.
Apple TV, I think, is very
Yeah.
happy to spend 100
Yeah.
million, $200 million on a series if they think it makes sense. I haven't seen Foundation season
Yeah.
2 yet, but I
Yeah.
imagine that is not a cheap show. Based on just the trailer alone, I imagine they've spent significant time, effort, and money to make that series. I wouldn't expect that for Hulu at all. But
Mhm.
remember Nine Perfect Strangers?
Yeah.
That's the kind of show that Apple TV would also make, which is
Yeah.
a very esoteric, not
Cast
necessarily low
intensive. Yeah.
budget, cast intensive, one series, one and done. We're happy to just do a mini series and call it a day. I think that's
That's
in
right.
Hulu's wheelhouse.
Okay. So that's Quasi
Yeah.
on Hulu.
I give it a skip, but it's not a skip, which is like I hated it. I give it a skip only that it's not for me. I think that it's definitely going to have its audience. I'm just not that audience.
I like that you've now split your reviews into different age groups. 25-year-old Pete gives it a skip. 20-year-old Pete gives it a must subscribe.
Yeah, exactly.
You're still on your down streak, though, man. We got to get you out of it next week.
Fingers crossed. All right, so tell me about Apple TVs and Tom Holland.
Switching gears, I was assigned by Pete The Crowded Room, which is on Apple TV Plus, which stars Tom Holland, our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Amanda Seyfried, who we've seen in so many things, most recently The Dropout, right?
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you my impressions of this show before I watched it. This is, I think, always kind of pushed on me whenever I log into Apple TV Plus. The name to me doesn't really mean much until you kind of watch the trailer and until you see the cover art. The cover art, I have to say, was definitely done on a budget with minimal, if any, shits given about quality or what it means. And cover art, I think, as you know, is like so important to choosing a television show or a movie. This cover art, I think, is among the worst I've ever seen. It's close-ups of the face of Tom Holland and Amanda Seyfried in very weird colors, like monochromatic oranges and yellows and blues, and just their faces repeated 3x3 tiles across the cover art. That's it. It already gives you the impression of something kind of like mysterious or creepy thriller. For me, it also, especially combined with the trailer, it gives an impression of like mental illness or like multiple personalities. And when you watch the trailer, which I saw on Apple TV Plus multiple times whenever I've logged in, it makes me think that I thought this show was going to be about Tom Holland is a really nice, innocent, intellectually challenged kid, and he committed a murder, but because he's got multiple personalities, the sweet side of him didn't know what the bad side of him did. And Amanda Seyfried is his therapist, and she's going to try to work with him to first understand what the bad side did and then kind of help him get help that he needs rather than go to like this hardcore prison. That's what I thought this was about. I haven't finished it, but it is not what this is about. It's much more nuanced than that. And I have to say, I think I've watched 4 out of 10 episodes, maybe 5 out of 10 episodes. And I'm still not exactly sure how this ends. And I'm still not sure how I would describe it. But I have to say positively, the show is more engaging than I thought it would be. Episode 1 starts a little bit slow, but honestly, 2, 3, and 4, and if I've watched 5, I've really gotten more engaged in it. I cannot say I love it yet, but I have to say I'm intrigued enough to see where this is going to probably continue on it, but it's not like a must subscribe, like I can't stop watching episode after episode. It's more of kind of like a slow burn where I'm like, you know what, this has grabbed my attention. I want to see it again, but I'm not like willing to stay up until 3 or 4 in the morning to watch like another episode, you know? I think that's kind of the fair way to say it. So if I were putting this into our rating category, I would say it's a mooch.
Yeah, almost by definition.
Almost by definition, but I have a few comments about it. I really do think that the cover art and the trailer do this show a disservice. It is a little bit more compelling. It is not about mental illness. It's not about multiple personalities, at least that I can tell so far. It's a thriller kind of drama. It's a compelling story, I have to say. Like, the characters are good. I don't really like the style of the show. It seems to be filmed in very late 70s, early 80s. The style of clothing, the vehicles, everything is old. But I feel like this is a passion project by Tom Holland and to a lesser extent Amanda Seyfried, where they said, oh, we're so tired of being these beautiful Hollywood leading people. Please make our hair look crappy. Don't put any makeup on us. Put us in really unflattering clothes. We just want to slum it and be these character actors that are known for their quality. And I have to say, and I'm just speculating, maybe that's not what they said, but I have to say those looks aren't really good for either of them. And I don't mean like physically good. I just mean that that's not Tom Holland. He's not this kind of like very simple, emotionally challenged kid. He's a proper adult now. And I mean, I think he should own up to the fact that he's a little bit star-studded and that he has a recognizable face and he's got like a certain image. I don't think that he needs to, prove his acting chops by intentionally giving himself a super weird hairdo and bad skin and unflattering jeans just to kind of prove that he's a good actor. We know he's a good actor. I think that all this other fluff actually detracts from the story. I'm so focused on how bad his hair is. Like, this isn't even like normal bad hair. It's like he said to his stylist, make my hair as weird and bad looking as possible. No one honestly wears their hair like this in the 70s or 80s. I mean, people at least tried to like feather it or style it or slick it or whatever the issue is, right? So I feel like he's not even really representing the historical category well.
Right.
Amanda Seyfried's character, I think, so far is really, really basic. I mean, the work that she did for The Dropout, I thought was incredible. Here, honestly, she's minimized as the female kind of like psychologist. Her lines are super basic. Her character is super basic. It's the same trope that we've seen so many times. It's not at all, I think, a departure for her or a stretch for her to act. It really seems like she's gotten a very, very limited character, and it's too bad because she's such a engaging and talented actress with so much range. If I were her, I'd be super unhappy that I've gotten this very, very basic role with very, very basic dialogue. She's just asking kind of these lame questions of Tom Holland, and then Tom Holland goes back into kind of these flashbacks or flash forwards or something, and then that's where you see all the action. So I have to say, if I'm giving this a rating, it's definitely a mooch, but I'm intrigued by it. It's definitely exceeded my very, very low expectations. So I'm probably going to finish it out. But I think that the cover art, I think that the trailer have done this a disservice. And the amount of people who would watch this, I think, would increase dramatically if they had a little bit of a more engaging trailer and they had a much more accurate and engaging cover art for this. Let's see where I end up on it. But definitely it's a mooch. I don't think it's going to get to a must subscribe, but I also don't think it's going to decrease to a skip either.
Okay.
So I think overall, from our perspective today, if you look at this episode as a whole, this is kind of the point of the streamer skip episode, right?
Yeah.
Avoid Quasi. If you're kind of mature, if you're an adult, if you're not looking for kind of like slapstick humor, skip Quasi. If you're, into kind of like this more immature-ish, slapstick stuff, then you'll like it. Same for Crowded Room. Hey, it looks bad, but actually it's a lot better than it seems. If you've watched the trailer and you don't like it, still give it a shot. The show is definitely much better than the trailer. I think that's kind of the public service that we were intending to do when we came up with the Streamer Skip episode, right?
Exactly. That's exactly right. Because, you know, we've harped on about it a lot. But
a lot.
The point is that there is no shortage of content that you could spend your valuable time on just watching TV. And a parent of 1, 2, 3 children, or, you know,
Just
a
not
young
us.
professional,
Also not
or
us.
an old professional,
That's us.
right? Who is in the office all day, or who's got, you know, assignments and tasks to do all day, and then has an hour or 2 at most to decompress a day, if not once a week or twice a week. You don't want to waste that time, right?
Yeah.
I think you feel like your time truly is wasted when that happens. Like no one wants to sit and watch something unfulfilling on TV.
So for the Crowded Room, I would say, if that's you and you're like, man, I've only got these 2 hours to watch something, I've only got an hour a day, I would not choose the Crowded Room. I mean, you and I have reviewed a lot of other really, really good stuff that people probably haven't watched. I would not do the Crowded Room. If you've got like that open weekend and you're like, what should I watch? I need something new. And your friends have been raving about the Crowded Room, I think it's worth giving it a shot. I don't think that will be a waste of your time if you've got like the whole day, the whole evening free and you want to give it a shot. But definitely if you've only got a limited number of hours and you've got to make one choice, for me, it's not the Crowded Room. There's other choices much better on Apple TV Plus, on Netflix, on other places.
I concur.
All right, Pete, without further ado, drum roll. What are the assignments for next week's episode of Stream or Skip?
For next week, you're going to be on Netflix. And you are watching a documentary. I put this on your list because it's something that I wanted to watch, but I didn't have time.
Sneaky bastard.
So
outsourcing.
You know, that's the beauty of Stream or Skip. We get to outsource to each other.
That's right.
I don't know about you, but in our youths, did you ever watch Gladiators or American Gladiators?
Oh, yes. 100% Nitro and
Dynamite and all of them, right? I mean, like Laser. Yeah, there were so many of these guys. So they just released a documentary about
100% I'm watching
American Gladiators called Muscles and Mayhem.
Oh, man. I love the name.
Yeah, exactly. I think we're going to be in for a great show because I expect that once you watch it, you're going to send me your synopsis offline, and that's going to make me want to watch it because I think, nostalgically speaking, both of us are very, fond of Gladiators, but I think also because we were so young back then, we probably don't remember it for what it actually was.
Not just fond of it. When I think about it, I would 100% have my next birthday party at an American Gladiators park. I can't remember like all the things, but I feel like there was this thing where they had like this tennis ball cannon, like shooting things.
That was the last one where you had to go from obstacle to obstacle and get to the very front.
Like I would definitely take you, some of our other friends in Dubai, and I would like pay for an afternoon to do all these things.
I would 100% fly over there just for that because that would be so fun. I think that would be hilariously fun.
Why don't they have that?
I know. Probably too many liability.
All right, so that's my assignment. What's your assignment?
I am on Paramount Plus, and I will be watching Special Ops, Lioness.
Oh, Lioness.
Which is Taylor Sheridan's latest show on Paramount Plus. Oh, is that right? I don't actually know who's in it.
Yeah, Gamora.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so...
What's Gamora in real life?
Zoe Saldana.
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about it, but I think this is just Paramount doubling down because besides Star Trek and now anything to do with Taylor Sheridan, with the exception of Rabbit Hole, I can't think of the last show that I saw on Paramount Plus that wasn't either a Taylor Sheridan show or a Star Trek show.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, so
So that's Dreamer Skip. You had Quasi, Skip. I had The Crowded Room, Mooch. Next week, you've got Lioness. Let's see. And I've got Mayhem and Muscles, or Muscles and Mayhem.
Muscles and Mayhem, that's right.
Muscles and Mayhem. Well, I'm looking forward to that next week then.
Exactly. Perfect. But in the meantime, if you guys have any shows that you would like us to watch, or if you have any shows that you'd like us to kind of bump up in terms of priority, we are more than happy to oblige. You can reach out to us, tweet at us at FNS Podcast, DM us on Instagram at Films and Stuff Podcast, email us aloha@filmsandstuffpodcast.com, or as always, the best thing you can always do and the fastest way to get in touch with us is like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment, hit that notification bell. Any of those things helps us out greatly.
Okay, that's it for me. Pete, thanks very much for joining today. This episode of Films and Stuff. We will see you all next week.
Thank you, Ethan.
Thanks, everyone. Bye now.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.